Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to episode 2 of the Cast. This week we got a special guest with us. We've got OnePegMG. You can find him at twitch.tv/OnePegMG. He's got a Twitter and a YouTube channel by the same name. Look him up there. I want to say thank you to him for his time this week. This week we just kind of went over a review of the patch notes that we broke down last week, and he came along to help us talk about some of that. So I'm going to turn it over to the rest of the guys, let them introduce their stuff, and we'll get rolling.
All right. You can find me at bearshare.tv. Shout out to Binary Digit for putting that together. She's a legend. Links to my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff is on there.
Okay. You can find me at twitch.tv/goldcast. All this relevant stuff, YouTube, Twitter, is in the panels down below that.
Gondashima here. You can find me at twitch.tv/Gondashima. You probably don't know how to spell that, but good luck. All my links and stuff are in the description there.
I'm Ivy Vance. You can find me at twitch.tv/IvyVance. The Twitter's the same as well.
Alright, so I'm going to cut back in here for one more second before we get going on the patch notes. I just wanted to clarify that there might be like a few jokes that don't make a ton of sense in here, and the way that it starts off right here is going to basically just be Onepeg in the middle of talking about the quest system, because that's what we started on. We actually sat down and did a Q&A with him just about personal stuff about his stream, and it was great. It was a really good time, and he spent a lot of time helping us with that. But for some reason, the audio from that section in the very beginning of this quest section got messed up. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm the one in charge of recording it, so I just wanted to let everybody know that that's my fault and not any of these other guys. Onepeg has been nice enough, even though he already took hours of his time, that he's going to sit down with us some other time as soon as we can and go through some of that stuff with us, and we'll release that again. And I really look forward to doing that with them, and I'm sorry that that couldn't be out for this week for you guys, but I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again, and we'll roll into the Tarkov patch notes right here. Like I said, we're talking about the quest system, so he's basically just talking about the find and raid system, which as of today has actually been fixed for the most part, because they did actually make it so you can find things in raid now. So it's an improvement in that aspect. Let's get to it.
The stuff that I found that took me a month to find these 3 LEDXs, or it took me 5 days and 150 raids or 200 raids or whatever it was over an entire week to find one, and now I have to find 3 more. Like, that's just bullshit. That's because that's the reaction they're going to get, because the spawn chances are so low. It doesn't make sense. In my opinion on this would be like, they would be better off just having, they already have items that you have to find with a separate task item inventory. They would be better off just saying like, okay, well, these fake LEDXs spawn in these particular places and have super high spawn chances, and these will go in your task inventory, like that knockoff flash drive that they made a task item because people were scamming people on the market for it. So that's all they have to do. Just have task item inventory stuff, and it would alleviate the issue, in my opinion.
It also seems like another
Easy dag.
The flea market is
right out the gate.
Once again disappointing. A factor that like complicates everything. This one, I mean, obviously, if you having to have the quest active is a problem, and they should either take find and raid off completely if they can't do it, or figure it out. But if the flea market didn't exist, that would be all that they had to worry about. But now they have to worry about like the player-driven economy and all that, which
I mean,
what player-driven economy?
Yeah,
I think find and raid could be the easiest thing that they implement, but I don't think they understand that it could be an effect just like insured items, and have like a symbol on them so you know that it was found in raid.
Right, and it's like a status.
Yeah, it could literally just be a 1 or a 0. Was it found in a raid, or was it bought? Yeah, it would be just that simple. That's the sad part.
They could even have a log that just says found by X in raid. Like it could just be like on the tooltip. Found on such and such a day at such and such a time by so and it's not that hard.
But then again, I don't know anything about coding, so that's just my opinion.
Well, another thing I'm curious about is Vance. Does this task system these changes made? Does it put you off more? Does it maybe what happens in your head when you're like, well, I want to take a little step back from Tarkov? What do you think when you hear these problems?
Okay, so I played last patch almost 1,000 hours. I logged almost 1,000 hours in before they wiped for 11.7. And then day one of the wipe, just like everybody else, started back up, went to go do the quest, except debut from Propor, pick up a shotgun, exit the raid, and then try to turn it in. And it said I hadn't found one in raid. Yet I did just find this exact shotgun in raid. So it's a bit annoying that that's a thing. Also, it doesn't make any sense lore-wise. Let's say I don't know any of the quests really from right now, like what's found in raid and what's not. But I scroll down. But if you find like 5 capacitors, right, and you go to turn them in, the trader wouldn't be like, no. You didn't just find these. You didn't just find these 5. While you do have these, now you got to throw them away. Go find 5 more, then come back and talk to me.
Right. And if they can do have that magic power, then why does Proper let us, just fuck them over with insurance?
Well, there's that, and then the argument for like these you have to find it in raid yourself kind of thing was like, well, your PMC wouldn't know that you have to hoard all of these items in advance of actually getting the task. That doesn't make sense, right? Okay, sure, except I could just have them, and if we're going to use that same logic, how does Prapper know? Or how does Mechanic know that I headshot a bunch of scavs using a Mosin at over 100 yards with iron sights, like by his sheer clairvoyance? Like, does he have a fleet of drones hovering above us that just know? You know what I mean? Like, this isn't the Hunger Games. They don't know everything that's going on. Like, it doesn't make sense. So people trying to talk about like the lore and canon and all of this stuff and say like, well, your PMC wouldn't know that you had to hoard all of these items in your stash in advance, like in a real world scenario. Okay, well, how do those people know in a real world scenario whether or not you found those in advance to begin with, or just happen to find them, outside the front door when you walk into their store, at that moment? Like, what store clerk is going to say, well, I really need 3 cell phones. Well, just so happen to have 3 cell phones right here. Well, I don't want those 3 cell phones. I want those 3 exact ones, but I don't want those tainted ones that already existed in your hands. I want you to go find. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. If they're in such high demand, why would you turn them away just because they showed up at the door, with them in their hands already? They couldn't have talked to a friend on the way out that had already done it. Like, that would be crazy talk. By the way, he's really wanting cell phones. Oh, well, I didn't tell you that personally, so can't find that out third hand or anything. That doesn't make sense.
There's always going to be in a game like this with tasks like this. There's always going to be a way to, get around tasks or know them ahead of time or kind of gamify it. So like, well, I said this last podcast, I'm one of those more realism guys. I want everything to be as realistic as possible while still being fun. Things like this, they're already tedious. You don't have to make them like obnoxiously so. I mean, the only way I could think of making it make sense logically that, you wouldn't have the clairvoyance to collect them beforehand while also, have them not have to know magically whether or not you found it beforehand, it would be if there were sort of tiers of rarity, so that there were kind of procedurally generated quests, which I would love to see the dialogue
that would be cool.
on those quests. I mean, when they already have them linear, it's already bad enough. But whether it's Tashanka or condensed milk or whatever, have this tier of items where they all have a general, or maybe even the same exact spawn count or rarity, and then depending on who you are, you might have, I might have to collect Tashanka, OnePeg might have to collect condensed milk or whatever, and so that they can implement this and have it make a little bit of sense, where you don't know what you need to stock up on beforehand. I mean, you might know like the 4 things, but then at that point, it's a discussion of, do I really want to dedicate all this space? So something a little bit more thought like that might kind of meet in the middle there.
Mm-hmm. Which, getting a headshot on someone, by the way, this like, wouldn't it be great if they thought about those things, like, walking up to a dead body and shoot them in the head because you have a task. Someone wants you to shoot PMCs in the head. Well, you go up, they're dead already. You killed them with the chest shot or the thorax or whatever, and you shoot them in the head while they're on the ground, and then it counts. That would be crazy. That'd be cool. If the game did stuff like that, but I mean, I don't know how far they could go with that, but
no, the impact of point blank versus over 100 meters would be pretty different. But I don't think any of these traders are getting, the forceps out and measuring it themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It just doesn't. If you want to make the realism argument, it has to go both ways, and it just doesn't seem this applies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If we got all our gripes out about the quest system, do we want to switch to something positive? We can go over the 9x19 ammo.
Yeah, I haven't personally had the chance to use this ammo, and some of you guys might have already, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But based on No Food After Midnight's updated ammo tables, use No Food After Midnight on Reddit and Twitch. Look him up. He's a very helpful boy. It looks like it shreds level 1 and 2, basically ignores the armor, and does moderately versus level 3. So that's 4 to 7-ish shots get stopped by armor, and then it starts penetrating consistently. And that performance is right around where we all felt when we talked last week it should have been. So I'm really, I haven't used it, so I can't say for certain, but I trust his data. I'm happy to see that that's where it lies. I'm still curious if you guys have gotten there, or if you've gotten to use it, what the cost is from traders, because I'm only at level 11 or something like that so far.
I have not used it. I would like to, but I think raiders spawn with it, and I don't. Is it level 4 or level 3 prop war?
No idea. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Not sure. All right, all of us are casuals.
I had my account reset on me on Saturday from a wheel spin, so I'm back to level 16.
The wheel strikes
I was
again.
in my 20s, and the reel struck me down with a vengeance.
Feels good where the guy who has his account reset is still ahead of me in level.
Yeah, I'm back to level 60. But dude, I do this full time. You know what I mean? I mean, this whole time that we've been talking and interviewing and stuff, I've been running shorelines.
I mean, then again, I'm full time and only level 23.
Oof, get oofed on Gonda.
That's not that bad. Pretty good, Gonda.
Have you tried being good?
Where I'm at.
No,
I'm
not
not
yet.
sure, but it's lower teens for sure.
Level 5.
Nice.
We should edit all of this out.
Yeah.
Don't
All
let
right.
anyone know how low level we are.
Yeah. So what were the good things? The Vepr Hunter's pretty good. I haven't got to use the MDR or the SVD. Has anybody got to use either of those?
Oh,
I can say that the MDR is awesome.
The SVD is probably my new main gun. That
The SVD
thing
is nasty, too.
insane. I got my hands on some SNB with that thing. I went to town. I had fun. You can ask Bear. We did a few raids before the podcast. I one tap 2 dudes.
I actually got my hands on an SVD on my very first raid of the wipe.
What?
Streamer loot.
No. Found a dead dude that had gotten it off of a sniper scav and looted the SVD off of him, and then went around and killed like a bunch of scavs with it. That thing is lethal. It was a lot of fun to use. I died from freaking dehydration. Somebody's stomach shot. It sucked. But it was fun to play with. But I can tell you that the MDR is a laser. That thing feels amazing.
I haven't gotten to touch it. I still feel weird about them adding guns of the same caliber. I'm of the school of thought that if you're going to be adding guns right now, you should be adding new calibers in so we can get those tested and make sure everything balances out. Like they have the P90 planned, that's going to introduce
P90 is going to be
5.7.
nasty.
Yeah, if they introduce it correctly, it'll be 5.7. So they should get the 5.7 gun out and let us play with it and see how it balances. Cause
they have already said the 5.7 is coming with the P90.
okay, good. But like the MP7, I feel like that introduced
my favorite gun.
Exactly. It should be everybody's favorite gun. I mean, it's the best gun right now.
MP7 with a Reaper is absurd.
It's
absolutely
so
absurd.
Good. Yeah, I mean the fire rate on the amount of armor penetration it has, it's so much better than every other gun, especially since it has
all
no
I did
recoil.
When they did like the super cheap loot event, all I did, I made 30 MP7s with Reapers and triple Predator lasers, and ran around with an eye case of extra armor and just shredded people. All I did was you take 10 steps, and then you would just do a sweep and a 360 with the Reaper, look for white marks, and then go to the next spot. Like, it was crazy. Had so much fun with that gun.
For the event, it was really, I had two guns. It was the M4 and the FAL, and I was just running Reapers on those, that or the EOTech on Factory, and I just had so much fun. I learned a new respect for the FAL. Just run M62 and one-shot people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, M61 just has too much pen, not enough flesh.
Yeah. M61's great if you come across like really thick boys, but 62 is very, very good. And the M80 changes is nice now too, man. 80 damage on the M80 round.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's a lot.
Speaking of M61, what do y'all feel about the Vepr Hunter spawning with M61?
Dude, it's so good.
I was gonna ask about that because
So good,
I did
man.
one raid today, and I picked up a Vepr Hunter and had an M61 in it, and I was like, does this thing actually spawn with M61 every time, or did I just get lucky? So it's every time. It spawns
every time.
Scavs have
Scavs have it too.
Dude, you can literally spawn on interchange as a scav, spawn with the Vepr Hunter, one shot kill it, and there you go.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for late game. Dude, scavs are gonna be lethal at any point, no matter what armor you have.
Dude,
people are
the cool,
going to go to Reddit.
The cool thing is the move is you get the Vepr Hunter scav, you shoot one of the Saiga scavs that's got like the stupid dovetail optic on the top of it, and then you use that thing so you don't have to have the irons anymore, and then it just becomes like a meme. You just wreck everything with that gun. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
because the sight picture is so much more drastically improved when you don't have to use the irons on that gun.
Yeah, it's good to see a solid, relatively cheap, and seemingly extremely common, at least for now, body shot machine. Because headshot and leg meta shouldn't, in my opinion, be as much of a thing as it is, or as it has been, and this really challenges that, at least so far. So I'm happy to see that.
I think my new build is going to be MPX and SVD or Vepr Hunter, because the new MPX mods, I'm loving those. All the new
absolutely, man.
Being able to put a rifle length barrel and foregrip on it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then with the new armor pen ammo, it's actually really good now. So
yeah, on the second day, I think I just played around with like level 2 Peacekeeper and got like a bunch of the MPX mods and just played around with like the different ergo and stuff and just went, wow, this gun is an absolute laser machine. Like a suppressed, like the MPX SD with the extended barrel on it and stuff. Just awesome gun.
I think all we need now is drums for the MPX.
I think they have MPX drums, don't they?
I don't think so.
I think
there's
added
extended mags, but
I thought they added a drum mag for it, or they were planning on it. They had like shots of it, something like.
I don't know. I'm not high enough level. If they do have drums, I'm extremely excited.
I think they have a drum mag for it.
It would be very like the.
I think they have a 50-round drum for the MPX
because of the 50-rounders. So if they made a drum for it, it would really balance that out. Well, the 30 rounds is with the fire rate like it is. The 30.
Yeah, it's gone in a second.
Yeah, you can't. If you miss anything, you're in a bad spot.
That's what I'm saying. I think they added a 50-round drum mag with the patch. I have to double check, but I think it's in.
Nice.
Are there any other gun mods y'all are really excited about? Because there is one that has really piqued my interest, but I haven't been able to use it because I haven't seen anyone find the mount for it. And that is the new aim point, like the good aim point, the CCO that all of like the extreme operators have on their M4s.
No, I haven't seen it. I have barely got any of the new mods so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
It's like 70K right now on the flea market, but none of the mounts are for sale.
Yeah. Alright, I guess we should tackle performance, right?
I think that would be the next big step, yeah.
I think BSG should tackle performance.
Just
Ooh, you right.
Dag,
Shots
dude.
fired. Shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, I just got a new processor, new motherboard, upgraded from DDR3 to DDR4, and got the 2060. And my performance has not upgraded any. Like that.
It's gotten worse for me.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Like I should not be able to get
Yeah.
2 whole new cores on my processor. Plus it's hyper-threaded now. Because I went from an i5, like going from 4 to 12 cores, I should see a noticeable difference in a game that everybody
Wow.
said was CPU heavy. And it's not there. It's just not happening.
what I assume. I think that when they say it's CPU heavy, it's CPU heavy on one core. A lot of games are that way, where they
Right.
don't take advantage of multiple cores. That's
Yeah.
why for gaming, you can just go with an i5, and your 4-core i5 is fine, because most games don't take advantage of multiple cores or hyper-threading. And I assume it's the same way with Tarkov.
Yeah.
Feels AMD, man.
It just feels like for all of those upgrades, I should have seen something, especially when the patch notes promised stutter fixes and frame rate fixes and FOV
Oh
fixes.
god,
and
the
Yeah,
I just
stutters are
don't-
in full effect.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
feel
I'm
it.
getting them less often, the random ones at least. I'm still getting them for sure, but I'm getting them fewer and further
Mhm.
between. But stutters linked to fights are getting worse for me. Gold can
Yes.
contest
Yes.
or can attest to this. He saw me streaming earlier. I go to aim at a scav's head, I miss my shot because I'm me. But then as soon as it seems like it's linked to that AI logic of when they go into flee or fight mode, it just tanks the FPS, and then he teleports, and then from there the fight is fine. But after that first bullet is fired, it's like there's a split second or even 2 seconds where I'm just wondering where the scav is going to teleport to. So yeah, it's that, and then when there are players in close proximity, whether they're a teammate or an enemy, that seems to hurt the FPS in general. But then again, when people start firing, I think the ballistics modeling has a little bit to do with it as well. It starts tanking it. So I've been seeing, like I said, the random stuff is better, but the fights have been worse for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like every time a player enters the field of view of my screen, I get
Oh,
a
God.
stutter for at least a second or two. And that has
I died on
almost gotten
Scav
me
Boss
killed.
this morning from it. I tore up his entire team, and the last like minion or whatever that I needed to kill, I came barely into view in the door, froze for 5 seconds, and woke up dead.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
a
woke
weird
up
Just
bug
happens all the
today.
time, man.
I had a weird bug with Boss Scav on dorms today. I was on the second floor, and it sounded like they were right next to me, like walking past me, yelling. And then I'll walk downstairs, and they're all at the bottom of the stairs. Just it's like the sound broke for a few minutes for me. Rest in peace, SVD.
So performance for me has been like, so the stutters, aside from fights and stuff, that seems worse. Like when you're actually doing something, then the stutters seem to occur more. But if you're running across woods or something, there aren't big stutters, at least as much as there were, which is good. But the overall frame rate seems to have been like practically halved. I feel like it's so low for me. And I don't know if that's a result of what they did to fix the game, but the overall frame rate is low, but their stutters are fixed because you're not climbing to that high frame rate and then dropping, I guess. I don't know. That's how it seems for me.
My frame rates have definitely been lower on some maps. Factory and labs don't seem to be affected. but
Mine have been way lower across the board.
really.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep.
For factory and labs, I seem fine, but all the others I've seen big drops. And
So like
the stutters are wild.
I used to run 90 plus FPS on like interchange, and now I run 62 ish. And when I aim down the sights, it drops to like 52 to 48.
So bad. Interchange
It's
especially
awful.
is
It's
the
awful.
worst.
I think
And they were like, "Oh, we just optimized this." Oh, did you?
I think
Where was that?
the big tell for performance is Woods. Back last wipe,
Woods was
we were
amazing.
getting 120, 140 frames,
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah.
Now
Yep.
it's
With no
below
drops.
90 with stutters out the ass.
Yep. I remember Woods was the only map on 11.5 that I could ADS and didn't have a frame rate. And then
Yeah.
all of the other maps, like customs, if I ADS'd on customs, I dropped into the 50s. And I use a 1080 Ti, and it was dropping off on me. And now it's like on average, it feels like the frame rates are smoother, but it's lessened. And that, I don't know, like what kind of a step backward that is. It's crazy.
I just don't. Maybe they just need to come out and say, maybe it is a part of the process of optimization. I have no idea. I don't know about any of this stuff, so I can't, offer any insight into that. So maybe if they would explain something, or maybe they made a mistake or something, if they would just come out and say something, then that would be one thing. But to leave us all thinking that the game is getting worse, then that's why there's so much hubbub around everything that happens.
Good word.
Good word.
Good word. No, honestly, I've actually haven't seen bad FPS drop, but I think that's because I have a 60 FPS limit. I have a 60 hertz monitor, so being over 60 just isn't good for me. It literally gives me nothing. So I have it capped at 60, and I have no frame problems at all. I'd never dip or anything. Like, I have stutters and stuff, but I have consistent 60, and I think I would like to see someone else try that. Try and cap it at 60 and see if their frames stay consistent as well, or am I just extremely lucky with my build?
I'll try that, because with my build, the only map I get over 60 is on factory and labs. So I'm not really sacrificing that much by capping it, so I'll give it a try.
Yeah, I have to turn my graphics up so that it puts more on the GPU. Otherwise, it never throttles and I get shit frames.
Yeah.
I mean, I also play on medium just for lack of cores because I have a i5. So streaming, it takes a toll on having high graphics.
Yeah, in my case, I have the game cranked up to ultra. The only thing I don't have turned up is LOD and sharp. And I get better frames that way than if I turn everything down or off. It looks like shit.
Yeah, I want them. So I play at 1440p, and like my frame rate on Shoreline in 11.5. I don't have any experience with it in 11.7, but in 11.5 I would get around 80 to 90 FPS even on Shoreline. But changing my resolution down to 1080p made no difference. I would be getting 80 FPS or 90 at 1440p, and then try to lower my resolution, and it just didn't make.
No,
it doesn't matter
because your GPU would throttle down, and it wouldn't use as much of it, so it wouldn't change anything. That's what I'm at. I'm in like this weird gray area where like if I turn the graphics up too high, then I lose frames. If I turn them down too low, then I lose frames. So I have to kind of find like this ultra middle ground where it works. It's weird.
When you were fiddling with it, did you notice if whatever the best FPS you had in the menu reflected to the best FPS you had in game? Because that seems like it would take a really long time to calibrate if you have
I would go into like just a single player raid and then go into the menu and like tweak a thing and then exit out of the menu and then kind of like look around and look at what the average frames are and then go back and then do it again and then just keep kind of going back and forth until I found something that fit like the best. And the best isn't very good in my opinion. It should be better than what it is. It has been better than what it is. And like I said, it's smoother, but on average the frame rates are a lot lower. And I'm getting tired of ADSing and getting 48 FPS on a system that should be screaming high frame rates in this game right now, because I can play the yet to be released beta of a game that I can't mention because of NDA reasons that looks amazing, and it's cranked to the max with insane particle effects and stuff, and I'm getting 130 FPS on a 144 hertz monitor, and it looks flawless. And then I play this game and I want to cry.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, I think I have a baseline build for all modern day PC games because I can play pretty much every game released currently on max graphics and be around 40 FPS. But I play Tarkov and there's mad stutters and it's choppy and all this and that. But
did you turn LOD up, like the LOD quality up, and the game laughs at your machine? Like it's horribly optimized right now.
You could play Tarkov on a NASA supercomputer and it would still lag.
Yeah, it would stutter. Yeah. I have one dude that said he doesn't have any micro stutters anymore because he loaded the game into a RAM and he doesn't have stutters anymore because of that.
Speaking of the NASA supercomputer, I think the memory leaks are all going to that black hole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that 90 pegabytes of data.
That's pretty crazy.
1 pegabyte.
1 pegabyte.
Had to. There's like a 5-second.
It was in there.
I was like, it was in there. I say it.
It was in there.
I think you were well within your rights to make that joke, but please never make it again.
Okay,
so the next emote is definitely going to be like a computer chip, and I'm going to name it a byte. So it'll be Onepeg a byte.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Just have it a hard drive.
I expect royalties.
For days.
Did you copyright an emote? Like
I made the joke way after he came up with the idea, but I still expect royalties.
And I'll offset against the check that you said was in the mail. For all of the web hits to
you know what?
Hot Dogs Are a Sandwich.
The MG in your name is not a lie. Well done, sir.
Hotdogsareasandwich.com.
I have another question for you, actually. Your name is MG. Do you have any machine guns you're excited for the game, like big boy guns?
Not really. I haven't really looked into like what's coming, so I have not seen it. The MG in my name stands for money guide, but not machine gun. But
they put up a 500 round backpack mag for a PKG.
I did see that.
That's 7.62 by
that looked pretty cool.
5.4. That's gonna be so, like, look how good the SVD is.
I want a BMG. I've always loved like the like big rifles, like bolt action rifles. I've always had an affinity for those. Just like in the real world, I love long range bolt action guns. It's just been a thing. So I'm excited for the BMG. If and when it ever shows up. And I want them to add a Super Red Hawk Alaskan real bad.
A Barrett 50 cal where if you fire it crouched or standing, it blacks both your arms.
Yes. Yes. Well, like the freaking 4-gauge shotgun that they're adding.
What?
Like that. Yeah, you guys didn't see that?
I didn't.
Yeah, like a few leaks ago, they showed a rendering of a 4-gauge shotgun that they're adding.
Oh yeah, the KS-23.
KS-23, yeah. So I just kind of looked at that and went like, okay, so if you fire that, your arm breaks, right? Because like that's one of those things where you'd want to shoot it with your shoulder against a wall, you know. So I don't even know what they're gonna do with that thing, but yeah.
I mean, those guns are only primarily used in like prisons for stopping riots, like shooting rubber bullets.
It's like a 22 millimeter barrel or something.
Yeah, they literally took it off of a anti-aircraft gun.
Yeah, so crazy.
What the fuck?
So crazy, man.
The new Scav Raiders are gonna be elephants.
It's like 2.5. Like the barrel diameter is like 2.5 times that of a 12 gauge. It's huge.
That's insane. Firing a 12 gauge a few times is enough.
I'm just really hoping that they add a 9-gauge double barrel sawn-off. Just break your wrist instantly.
I wish shotguns wouldn't have been done so dirty this patch. They feel like they do absolutely nothing anymore.
They feel like they do nothing. Yeah.
It's so bad. As a shoddy boy, I hate it. I try to run it, and it just does so poorly every time. I've face hit people so many times and like have it clipped. I'm like going back at half speed watching it.
Rage inducing.
Yeah, and it just doesn't count. Like, I don't know if that's part of the hit reg problem or a shotgun problem, but
And then
like
there's
it's
the
just caused
209.
me not use them. Oh, 209's not even usable anymore.
Is the Vepr 209, is that spawning way more for you guys than it has in the past? I've seen
Not that I've noticed.
a total of
I've
2
se-
VPO 136, and I
I've
feel
seen
like
it
90%
spawn
are.
on basically every scav except for shotguns. But I feel like that gun is only good in the hands of scavs now, because a scav shoots me
Yeah.
and 3 of my limbs are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does ballistic? I haven't gotten like an official answer from anything that I've tried to look for. I haven't really like went out and looked for an answer, but uh, do the scavs obey the laws of the ballistic system, or are they
They
like
do.
what? Okay.
I
mean, not-
Scavs
Well,
obeying.
I've had my legs zeroed standing behind a Jersey barrier with like my stomach and up poking out, so I get the
Oh
feeling
yeah,
that
it's weird, but they do. They actually aim. Nikita said it. I don't remember
Well-
exactly what he said. He said that they actually aim at you, but they just their algorithm for aiming
Here's-
causes them to aim
So,
lower just so they don't instantly headshot you.
Nikita said that they use ballistic mechanics just like we do.
Oh, that's a
And
lie.
I have always called bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Always.
thought they used hit scan. It seems like they used
So
hit
he
scan.
said flat out they do not hit scan. He said that it was ballistics just like people, like us playing the game. That's how he put it. He said it was
Such a
ballistic,
lie.
the same ballistic mechanics as the rest of us, which is why in my shameless plug in that meme parody song, "Hey There Nikita," the very last line in that song is ballistics, not dice. So
I really
Because-
want to see the source code for that.
yeah, because like if he genuinely believes that to be true, I want to know what it is that he's smoking so I can have some, because it doesn't feel anything like that at all to anyone other than him.
They hit you instantly. Like, there's no
Yeah.
doubt that when they fire their gun, you're hit. It doesn't matter the distance. Like, when you shoot people that are moving and stuff, you have to lead them, and you can see the bullet traveling. It does not
Yeah,
feel like
if
that
you're
with
looking
them.
at a sniper scav standing on a roof at 150 yards in the patch now, and they look at you and they shoot you, you hear the bang at the same time that they hit you at
Mhm.
150 yards. There's no delay.
Every time. It's
Every time.
always like that, no matter what scav it is. Like, I've always felt that, so I don't...
Did you guys
don't
ever
see how
notice
they could
that
claim it's the same.
here's a fun one. You guys ever notice that it seems as though you have a cricket in your pocket at night no matter where you go?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same volume of chirping no matter where you are on every map if it's nighttime.
Yeah.
There's a cricket with you everywhere you go.
I have a cricket in my gamma.
Yeah, it's
It's
amazing.
folded.
You're folded gamma. Or is
You
the
okay with
cricket
that?
folded or the gamma?
Both.
Or is that yes? Yes.
It's
You know-
Elvira, actually.
Something else I really get annoyed by after like over 2 years of this, like I want more sounds for terrain. I don't want to have to walk over a chain link fence and have it make the same noise as me sprinting down like a corrugated like flooring in factory.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I'm glad they finally added new brush sounds.
yeah, that too. Or wood. Wood is the same ear-piercingly loud noise. Same with glass. Like those three just need to be tweaked and changed. Like
Yeah.
have wood have a different sound. Have metal have a different sound. Like one or two more, like at least.
Every piece of wood, including full logs, sound like you're tap dancing on like a hollow wooden box.
Yeah,
Even
you
if
can,
it's a tree.
Yeah,
Like,
you
it
can
can be
walk
a
over
rooted tree,
yeah.
and you'll go close to it, and it sounds like you're walking on a fucking wood floor.
Yeah.
that's
If you
suspended
walk over the
your-
root of a tree, if you walk on the root sticking out of the ground at the base of a tree, you're walking on a hardwood floor. It's like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's the best. I love that one. That one was always a fan favorite. The one that I like was they finally did a little bit better with it though. Was the every time you walk through like brush, it sounded like you were like in like late October and they had set fire to the field. It was so loud when it ran against you, you know? It was like you were in
Oh
like
my
thick
goodness.
underbrush. It was awful. It was so loud. And now they have like some variants where it's not quite so bad. It's a little bit more realistic, but even now, still it needs some work.
Yeah, it was a huge improvement though. Assigning the noise volume to how quickly you're moving through it is key, because you couldn't sneak at all. I mean, you can't really sneak through a bush in real life anyways without making some sound, but it was, like you said, it was like if you had contacts on, especially with that high treble, it'd slice your eardrums just like brushing your elbow up against it. So it was a good change.
I don't know about y'all, but I play with my headset on the fullest volume it can. I can hear someone shoot me if I'm all the way across the house without my headset on. Like, so whenever you're wearing GSSHs, the loudest ones, and you run through a bush, it is literally like going deaf.
It's bad. Yeah, I put a compressor on the audio source from my PC through my mixer, because I don't want to like cause major hearing issues with certain sounds in that. Because like you have to have the volume turned up so that you can hear all the little subtle bullshit sounds. But like when they start getting loud, man, like it will hurt.
It hurts. Yeah, I've cringed many times.
Yeah, man.
Grenades are the actual worst. When you get an F1 landing on you, it is the worst sound ever. I have to take my headset off.
Bad. Yeah. Like, and that's the thing is like you have to, in order to be competitive, like you have to have the game sound turned up, and that's kind of like to the detriment of the player base, because over a long period of time without a compressor, you're going to be causing yourself like major hearing damage. You know, because you're hitting 130, 140, 150 decibels in some cases with some of that shit. It's crazy.
Well, do you want to hear, or do you want to be a casual?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Only casuals have their eardrums intact.
Were you talking? I can't hear. What?
I'm level 40 this wipe. I can't hear you.
Find more dad jokes on hotdogsaresandwich.com.
God. How about some stuff that some improvements that we've seen in this patch? Because there have been some for me.
Like?
Okay. Well, all right. Increased recoil. I think that's been a good change. I was excited about it last week. I think it certainly hasn't helped me hit my targets, but firefights feel more challenging, more tense, less lasery, even close range. Ghana, when you and I were playing earlier, and we went into that one of those back factories in customs, when bullied that guy in the corner. I was full auto. It was 7.62. It was bouncing all over the place, and it felt good.
I thought we agreed to not talk about that.
Well, I mean, it was like the one kill I got this week, so I need to talk about it. But yeah, it feels good in full auto. Certainly, you still benefit from full auto, because after that initial climb, the player does control the recoil better, which I know is their intention. But it feels good. Trying to use the ADAR or an SKS, or it feels challenging when you're tap firing. It bounces around. I've noticed a lot of enemies missing me, which is always a good thing. And I've certainly been missing more, which I think makes sense, because previously, you come over, you crest a hill, you see someone, and you just lay down on your trigger and until the fight was over. And it seems like it's slightly moved away from that. I know we're early on the wipe, so people don't have all the best mods, and they don't necessarily have full auto guns all the time, but it seems like it's moved in the right direction. So I'm curious what you guys have felt, just handling guns that you're used to, how the recoil has been for you.
Yeah, I would say the same, almost the exact same. Yeah. I'm curious, Onepeg, have you gotten a chance to, because you've played more, have you gotten a chance to play with the grips and stuff like that? Have you tried the recoil reduction builds on guns at all this patch?
Very minimally, because like I said, on Saturday I had my account reset, so I'm only back to like level 16, but I have played with some of them, and on max recoil builds and stuff, it really doesn't feel like it's that different. And the reason why is because when you do recoil reduction, it's percentage based, right? So if you have guns that inherently have high recoil to start with, your reduction in recoil from those percentage decreases are more drastic, right? Because bigger numbers move by bigger amounts when you talk percentages instead of fixed values. So, like an AKM with inherently high recoil, with all the same recoil mods that you would put on an AK-74M, is going to have a more drastic feel like in its recoil change than the 74M will. So from what I have gathered, it really doesn't feel all that different unless you're using like stock guns. Like if you're using a 74N stock or an SKS stock, and SKS feels like dog shit right now, in my opinion, compared to what it used to feel like. So, modded, I guess they don't feel all that different, but unmodded in the early game, it definitely feels more closer to what it should be, in my opinion. Like it feels better. It's just I don't think it's there yet.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment for sure. I think it's definitely at least in the right direction. I even think that they could keep it that way. It's interesting that the single fire guns are actually harder to control, at least for me, this far in the patch. And I'm not sure why. We were all expecting the semi-autos to be hard or easier, and people would fall back to those instead of lasering with full auto guns. But it's interesting.
It's because on all of the guns, auto or otherwise, the first 2 to 3 shots are the ones that have the recoil that's drastic, and then your PMC takes over with the built-in automatic recoil like control stuff that is built into the game. So from a full auto meta standpoint, you have like that PMC character that you're playing automatically be able to like quote unquote take control, versus on the semi-auto side, you're doing that like single or double like shot in a row, and that's when the recoil is the worst. Instead of it building up to something worse with muscle fatigue, it's worse on the onset and then better over time, which doesn't make any damn sense.
Something I have noticed, and it is actually probably one of the best things with the recoil, the M4 base with like barely any mods to it. I think all I had was the new MOE like Magpul handguard on it, and the MP7 Troy stock. That thing had like almost laser, like I had to control it some, but it was pretty good for an M4. Like it feels way better than it did.
It was awful last patch.
Yeah.
And then that was like maybe like 10 yards away from someone spraying full auto.
Yeah. Well, AKs are easier. Well, not easier to control, but easy to control already. And then they made it to where M4s are easier to control. M4s are this patch. They made them easier to control than AKs. So that makes sense that and AKs are already easy, so.
AKs have always felt way better than M4s to me, so at least they're kind of balanced now, because an AK shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, a 5.45 one would be close to par, but still probably isn't going to be as good.
It's still a much higher grain load than a 5.56, so it's still going to bounce around. Like the only saving grace for an AK's recoil has to be the weight.
Yeah, it is fairly front heavy.
I just wanted you guys to know that I have a present for you.
Oh goodness.
Oh no.
Oh my.
I'm scared.
As a special thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh god. Okay.
Oh goodness.
I recently, within the last few minutes, happened to have purchased a website domain.
Oh god.
Yes!
And that website domain is hotdogsaresandwich.com.
Oh no!
Yes!
We have won the culture
in
war.
against me. Oh,
We have won with a cultural war, Aaron Dahl.
I'm not even making this up. I currently possess and own the website domain hotdogsaresandwich.com.
My God. Thank you guys for listening to our final episode. It's what a ride it has been.
We're done.
Yeah,
We're famous.
I'm done.
All right,
I'm done. I'm not editing this anymore.
It's happened.
I'm out of here.
It's happened.
We're gonna be running the sequel on OnePeg's website.
Find this and more on hotdogsaresandwich.com.
What a legend.
I'm gonna need somebody to build me a WordPress site that just has Aaron Dahl like waving. That's
No
it.
returns.
That's what I need.
Super depressed.
Well, we have one of those. Shout out to Binary Digit.
This is why mob rule isn't a thing. You peasant. This is not right.
Listen, I mean, every once in a while, those in charge need to be beheaded in the streets of Paris.
Every once in a while, you have to burn down a cathedral.
Oh
What?
my God.
Oh, too soon.
I got a present
bust
as
out the
well.
Too soon.
I
Too
have
soon.
a new invention. It's this big blade that falls. I call it the guillotine.
But Baganda just drops it from a building. You know, he doesn't like make anything.
Yeah, it's
He
got
just-
parasails on it or duct tape to it.
Hotdogsaresandwich.com, boys.
So good.
It exists. It's real.
all this and more.
We'll have to
We'll
make
start
sure to.
getting
All this-
some
all
pictures
this and
lined up,
more.
I guess. We're gonna need some stock hot dog footage for the back.
Dude, we're gonna have, there's gonna be an online store. There's gonna be merch. It's gonna be great.
You would just have the entire background of the website be that chick getting a bunch of hot dogs thrown at her face.
Just that GIF.
Oh,
you guys-
so good.
Did you guys see the one that Captain Disillusion made? It was her, the girl like meme with the hot dogs hitting her in the face, and then the same thing flipped and the hot dogs hitting him in the face. It was amazing. So good, man.
Oh, it's beautiful. What a gift! I
Dude,
didn't know what you were going to say the gift was, but I know that anything I could have come up with would have been less special to me.
Yeah. You just made their year. You don't understand how
I had-
long running of a debate
had-
this has been. You can't
I had to
even
look it up
fathom.
and see if it was available, and it was. So I purchased it from Google Domains for $12.
Oh man, that's
So
probably a
we-
good $12.
Yeah, no one even thought to register that domain. So yeah, this is gonna be the new hot website. You should,
I'm so
have to-
upset.
Subscribe to
Seven.
OnePegMG for all
I
your...
have held my ground for so long on this, and I just don't think I have a leg to stand on anymore.
But you-
I think
you
I've been
don't
overrun.
you don't have a website
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. I've been
okay.
overrun.
I will mail you a concession T-shirt.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh.
at least there's that.
My name is Aaron Dahl, and I think hot dogs are a sandwich. That's what it's gonna say.
All right.
Get
I'll
absolutely
wear it.
destroyed, Aaron.
Yeah, I guess, man.
Dude,
what a
that's-
waste
Dad's
That'd be
of
the
a
first-
god.
what
the
a
first
waste
shirt
of
in the
6
store is gonna
months.
say, the first shirt in the store, Aaron Dahl thinks hot dogs are a sandwich. That's what it's gonna say on the front
All right.
and on the chest.
I will gladly buy one. I'll be the first purchaser. I give up. Everybody mark it
This
down.
has been the greatest podcast that I have ever taken part in. I just want to say.
Is it the
This-
only podcast you've ever taken?
No,
part-
no, it's not. No, it's
Get fucked, other podcasts.
I thought we were getting trolled, but now they're getting trolled. Take that.
Mhm. So Tarkov, guys.
Is
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna be
anything
able to
else to
focus
go
anymore.
over though? I mean, we covered the performance, we covered the quests, we covered the new guns, new attachments, all that stuff. We covered the stuttering issues, kind of.
We covered hot dogs are a sandwich. I mean,
Exactly,
Most
yeah.
important.
we got it
topic.
all in.
I think
Hit
we
reg.
got it.
Did we? I mean, hit reg is an issue, maybe. Possible?
Yeah, that kind of goes in with performance. I mean, I definitely have felt it here and there. Like like I was saying earlier, I have multiple clips of me hitting somebody in the face with a 153, and then chat telling me that it was because I was using a 153 because apparently that doesn't face hit beep. I didn't understand that.
I have a feeling I know what
what
the username was.
I just like I've definitely had issues with killing people that won't die.
That's a very apt description of
Yeah.
my entire Tarkov career.
That sounds like my childhood.
It's a dark past. Just a
Batman
couple
on us
other.
all of a sudden.
Got super dark in here.
Excuse me.
Anywho,
Right.
segues are weird. Movement speed getting reset after sprint. Talked about that briefly last time. That has been working for me. It seems like it works as intended. What's a little weird is it doesn't, in the bottom left visually, it doesn't seem to reset until you let go of sprint. That hasn't caused an issue, but I just thought that was strange rather than when you start sprint. It seems like it's on whatever it's called. Not on press, but on release. I am seeing some occasions where it's not putting me into walk when I toggle it right after sprinting. So I'm sprinting. I know that my walk has been reset, or I haven't even begun to walk, haven't even begun to peak. So I'll sprint, stop, and then hit caps lock to walk, but I won't be walking. So I don't know if that's a timing issue, me fat fingering it, or a legit bug with kind of how the new release thing works. So I need some more time in game to test that out. But that's really all I've noticed with that. Otherwise, it's been working as intended for me.
I've always kind of had that problem where sometimes if you're running, it just won't set to walk for some reason. I've ran into that before for sure.
Yeah,
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it seems more prevalent now, maybe because I'm paying a little bit more attention to it. But yeah, I agree.
Nothing matters in terms of sprinting until they fix the stutter step. So yeah, that one, I have PTSD from that.
What, you don't like sliding into someone as they shoot you in the face and you can't do anything about it? You're just in like this slow motion gif of yourself dying and there's nothing
you have to like
do.
hit you have to like hit down or S or whatever. Like you have to hit like backward, like you want to walk backward as you're stopping. You have to like train yourself to like hit like the back pedal key as you're stopping so that you can quick aim. Otherwise you end up sliding forward. It's complete ass. It sucks.
It makes a little bit of sense to me because if you're sprinting or if you're, you've done the first stride of a sprint, you're not going to really be able to shoulder your gun accurately that quickly. But yeah, it's in a game where you can't control your movement as much as you might be able to in real life. I haven't run into it, and I think Gonda kind of was in the same boat when we talked last week. It hasn't been a big issue for me, but maybe for someone more aggressive and less cowardly, I can see how that's been frustrating. All right, and then just the only other thing that I touched on last week real quick. I haven't tested it yet, but the cash spent from secure container, or rather it not being spent from your secure container when you repair, Vince had mentioned that it wasn't only repairs that happened with, it was also some purchases from traders. I haven't been in a situation where I've put cash into my secure container to go to and extract with it. So I haven't tested it myself, but I also haven't seen anyone about it or complain. So for now, I'm assuming that is fixed, it's a good thing. Maybe it isn't fixed and we just haven't found out yet, but it's nice to see some of those little quality of life things actually working.
I tried the repairing and it definitely works. The buying stuff, I'm not sure. I didn't remember to pay attention to it, but I did pay attention to the repairing, and that definitely works. I would assume though, if that's fixed, hopefully the buying stuff is fixed.
Wait, didn't they fix stutter step? Wasn't that in the patch notes?
Wait, buying stuff from your secure container, you said?
Yeah, like they put in the patch notes that okay, so it still takes money out of
it tries to pull it from your stash. Yeah, okay. If you try to go to the shops with that stuff in your gamma or whatever, it won't work. It just says that you have like no money.
Oh no, that's good. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
All right. I have one last thing I really want to talk about. This is kind of off topic from patch, but it's an idea that I thought of one night, and yeah, I've been thinking about it ever since. Like, it is like a pretty solid idea in my mind. So with the current experience system and leveling, there's a lot of holes and there's no real end game with just extended periods of beta just waiting for update. And I think this could be like not a permanent fix or just a update, but something they could have during the beta, or if it's really good, they could keep it throughout like the lifespan of the game. But have there be, instead of one experience system, just your player and everything that comes along with that, have there be a stash or like out of raid experience, and then have there be your player experience, which is your levels, your soft skills, stuff like your weapon mastering, all that. You get that from being in raid, finding stuff, killing people, completing in raid tasks like finding stuff, killing people, or having like dailies, monthlies, weeklies, where you could do stuff to grind out soft skills. So at the end game, you're not still at level 7 strength. So you're like level like 63 with like level 8 strength or level 2 endurance.
So this is like the Ready to Rumble boxing from the Sega Dreamcast. Yes, I made that mistake.
With the power glove.
Yep. Dual power gloves for there. Yeah, you have your dude when you're not in a boxing match, he hits the bench press, and you work out that strength.
Dude, I remember that game for Nintendo 64.
So good.
Be interesting. I mean, it's something they could definitely come out with when they come out with the hideout, and there's a whole separate system for doing stuff out of raid. I'm still not sure what exactly that's going to encompass, but it sounds like something that would go along with the hideout.
And I mean, for like stash XP, there could be quests for your stash, like doing something. I don't know what they would do, like logistical, like
Something
finding
with the flea
items.
market.
Or flea market, and then like they could even add in, hey, you get stash increase size just by completing these quests for your stash,
Yeah,
or
there should be
trader,
unlock stuff. Yeah, for sure.
or you get like trader discounts, insurance discounts, repair discounts, repair increases.
Would you do that with progressive?
No, Allstate.
I'll think. Okay. So many
Dad joke.
discounts. I thought it was like car insurance. Dad jokes. More dad jokes on hotdogsandwich.com.
Alright, does anybody have anything else before I go fucking crazy out of my mind with this goddamn hot dog thing?
I just want you to know that your rage sustains me,
Alright,
both
Yeah.
emotionally and
strength.
sexually.
great.
Nice.
I'm glad I'm just making it worse on myself.
All right.
What does it feel like knowing that you lost your argument over $12?
I know. It's terrible. It's such a large amount of time dedicated to $12. It just does not feel like a good ROI at all.
So, Onepeg, do you have any questions for us as starting podcast guys and some of us really long time Tarkov players?
Even think about that.
I would like to know how long it is.
What, the podcast? Or,
No.
He's asking a tier 3 question right now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get on the Patreon at the premium Snapchat
That
level
is the
to get
that is the platinum
information.
level on
Yeah,
Patreon.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it's in my private Discord. You gotta pay for that too.
I actually
Nice.
have a Craigslist ad. It's not really that exclusive, but
Medium class.
How long have you guys been kind of puttering around with the idea of doing the podcast?
Probably like a month maybe, a few weeks before we actually got into it. Last week we just kind of
Yeah.
like finally got the motivation and time together to do it, so we all sat down and did it. But we've been talking about it for a little bit and just kind of batting around ideas. For these first 2 episodes, it's been mostly Tarkov centric. Like obviously we talked about other games for a little bit today.
Right.
But last week it was pretty much all Tarkov. I think next week, with there not really being any major patches in the foreseeable future for Tarkov, obviously, we'll probably start delving into other games more as the idea. But
That's cool.
for now, it just kind of hit. The patch was coming out and it made sense, and we had the time, and we finally all got together and did it. So.
Yeah, we've been talking about a podcast like since we made the team, really.
Yeah.
Before we made the team.
Yeah.
I've thought about it since I started streaming. So
So if there were a zombie apocalypse,
Oh no.
which one of you would be the first person to throw bear share at the zombies?
Vance.
Assuming they could lift me.
I would eat bear share.
I would eat.
I have a
Nice.
stockpile of beans in my house, but I'd eat bear.
I mean,
Easy, Jim Baker.
I can see that because I mean I too have had a desire to want to put my mouth on bear share. So
Listen, guys, I have
He's
have
got
a
some
plum-
good meat.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say
He's
something else, but I
basically an
agree.
Arby's.
I want a sandwich as a hot dog if you get what I'm saying.
Oh no.
Hey,
Too
I got
far?
buns.
You go too far. Is it going too far?
No, it was great.
Oh
It's
no,
just
I
the
love
hot
that.
dogs trigger me every time I see it. I just start having PTSD. I can't help it.
Hey, bear share. I got buns that are
Post-
connected if you want to make a hot dog.
hold that thought. PTSD stands for post-traumatic sandwich disorder.
Oh no. You're
Wait,
corrupting
isn't it-
everything.
Isn't it post-tubular sandwich disorder?
Oh, let's go, dude.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'd throw myself to the zombies first because, let's be honest, I'm not outrunning them.
Is it considered suicide if you shoot yourself in the knee so the zombies get you?
There's a lot of technical movings going on there.
Is that self-sacrifice or is that just quitting?
That's just my Tarkov aim.
Would the police charge you with suicide by zombie?
I don't think there's a lot of police charging going on.
He says that's my potato aim. He goes, it's amazing. All right, guys, I gotta go. It's getting late for me, and my wife wants to go to bed. So,
thanks for being here, man.
Fellas, it was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah,
I definitely would love
2 fucking hours with us, man. That was a long time. I'm sorry it ran on forever.
No, dude, it's totally fine. I was having a lot of fun. It was really good, actually. You guys are good peeps.
Real quick, is there anything on your channel you want to advertise or
Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a restream of World War Z. Tomorrow's launch day. We're going to be doing a restream. I actually just took over a slot for Kings, so I don't know when you guys are getting this. Tomorrow, April 16th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing a restream of World War Z on opening day with the Black Slate team for the developer from noon Eastern until I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern, something like that. Or no, it's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is what I'm going to be doing.
All right, yeah.
Other than that, I stream every day, so
I'm gonna edit it tonight and post it tomorrow evening. So I'll make sure we get a link out earlier tomorrow morning before 11 a.m. So that gets put out.
Okay, sweet.
Any websites that you want to plug?
Yeah, I would highly encourage people to visit hotdogsaresandwich.com. Fantastic website. Has absolutely zero content and no web page, but everyone should go there just so that I can look up the analytics and show Arendal how many people believe that hot dogs are also safe.
1 click equals 1 like.
One click equals one dagger in the heart of Arendal's argument.
That sounds beautiful.
I'll be quickly getting some content together to put up there. Don't worry.
Oh wow. Well, thanks for showing up, man. I really appreciate it. You're the first guest.
Lots of fun, man. I would love to do it again anytime.
All right, we'll definitely do it again for sure. It was a great time, dude.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, anytime, boys. I'll catch you later.
Yep.
Have a good night, man.
Toodaloo.
So, Ganashima, you want to plug anything? You doing anything on the Twitch channel? Or the YouTube channel?
Twitch.tv/Gandashima, streaming every day, 12 to, dinner time.
Okay. That it?
Yeah, that's about
Anything else? Okay. Bearshare, you want to?
Yeah. Bearshare.tv, because I'm cool. Twitch.tv/Bearshare is where the actual content is. Typically Monday through Thursday, but I've been house hunting, so it's bouncing around a lot. Might have some random weekend days, might bail on some weekdays, so bear with me. No pun intended. When this airs, I might be live with some Diablo 2, and then we'll probably be getting into Jackbox. So if you're into Jackbox games, you can come play on that probably Thursday. But yeah, those are the links. Click them.
Right, Arendal?
Just twitch.tv/Arendal. I'm gonna be working on this for tomorrow, and then probably play Tarkov on Thursday. So I'll be streaming like Thursday through Sunday through the rest of the weekend until we get the next episode out. I'll be working on that again. So
Beautiful.
All right. You can find me at twitch.tv/Goldcast. You can see the schedule and all this relevant stuff and panels below the playback. So yeah.
And then IB Vance, twitch.tv/IB Vance.
He had to step out. There's a difference between like a savory debate and
a sweet debate?
Cringy nonsense.
I mean, it could be like Joe Rogan's recent Alex Jones.
That wasn't cringy, though. That was the best.
I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of failfish.
Yes. Dude, that's perfect, dude. Oh, my God.